Kia ora, and welcome to this overview of balancing combustion reactions. Now, when you have hydrocarbons, alkanes, alkenes, alkynes, so carbon and hydrogen, they burn in excess of oxygen, and as long as there's enough oxygen, you undergo complete combustion, which means you only get carbon dioxide and water. So let's have a look at this process. If I have methane, then what has to happen is I have to break my carbon-hydrogen bonds. I have oxygen molecules, and I have to break the bonds between the two oxygen atoms in each molecule. And then those atoms will rearrange to give me two water molecules and one carbon dioxide molecule. So what's going to happen is one methane reacts with two oxygen atoms to form a carbon dioxide and two water molecules. Now, when I go back to this slide again, you'll notice that we can write it out in shorthand: CH4, 2O2, CO2, 2H2O. Remember that the subscript number applies to the number of atoms of the element preceding it. So I've got 4 hydrogen atoms here, 2 oxygen atoms in each molecule, 2 oxygen atoms in each molecule, 2 hydrogen atoms in each molecule. The bigger number in front, so there's 2 and 2, that applies to how many molecules we've got, and therefore it applies to all the elements in that molecule. So here the 2 applies to the oxygen, so I've got 2 oxygen molecules, each with 2 oxygen atoms, giving me 4 oxygen atoms in total, 1, 2, 3, 4. And the same thing here, I've got 2 water molecules, which means I've got then 4 hydrogen atoms. 2 times 2 is 4, and 2 oxygen atoms. Now, if I have an alkane that has got an even number of carbon atoms, so like ethane, then you need to do an extra step, which is this doubling. And I'll show you why, because here I've got 2 carbon atoms. If I've got 2 carbon atoms, I need 2 CO2s to be formed to balance my number of carbon atoms. I have got 6 hydrogen atoms here, so I'm going to need 6 hydrogen atoms there, which means I need 3 water molecules. And when I now try and make a number in front of the oxygen, you'll notice I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 oxygen atoms. And so if I try and make that into a molecule, that's 6, and I can't make 7, use up 7 atoms, I've got to have half a molecule, and that doesn't work. So what we just do is we get around it by doubling it up. So I've got now 2 ethanes, which gives me 4 carbon atoms, and therefore it gives me also double the amount of water molecules. Instead of 3, it's now 6. And now if I double up the oxygen, I have an even number. So remember, single alkanes with an odd number, you don't have to double up. Alkanes with an even number, you do have to double up. All the best for your learning.